Outlined against the blue-gray October sky, the four horsemen rode again. In Baton Rouge, their names are traffic, crime, intolerance, and property rights. Hi, I'm Steve Myers, candidate for mayor of Baton Rouge. Welcome to another Myers Message. Today we're going to continue with our series that involve private property rights. Today we're going to talk about the definition of family. Yesterday we talked about zoning areas and how they are determined by density, and density is determined by the number of dwelling units per acre. If you look at the UDC in pare materia, the fancy legal term that basically means as a whole, within each of those individual single family dwelling units you can have a family, regardless of the density of the structure. So in other words, if you had 82 units per acre, within each of those single family units you can have a family. So we need to know what is the definition of a family. According to the UDC, a family is defined as an individual or two or more persons who are related by blood, marriage, or legal adoption, living together and occupying a single household unit with single culinary facilities, or not more than two persons, or not more than four persons, provided the owner lives on the premises, living together by joint agreement and occupying a single housekeeping unit with single culinary facilities on a non-profit cost-sharing basis. Now I know every time we talk about family, that is exactly how we think of a family. According to the interpretation of the parish attorney's office, this definition essentially means that three unrelated persons cannot live together in Baton Rouge. Although the three unrelated persons term is never mentioned in the definition, the city constantly harasses private property owners with letters telling them that the law expressly states that two or more unrelated persons is prohibited. The fact is that four unrelated persons may live together if an owner lives on the premises. So they are misquoting the law to start with. But you question, why does any of this matter? Well, the purpose of all this is supposedly to provide areas of town that are low density. But as we saw yesterday, density is determined by the number of units per acre, not by the people who live together in an apartment or a house. The result is a hodgepodge of what is legal or illegal. We're providing a link to a chart right below this video on our website at themyersmessage.com, and the chart contains all kinds of examples where the same people can live in a house and be legal or be not legal, depending on a variety of different factors, such as whether they own 1% of the property or whether they're related or not related. Let me give you some examples of illegal. Three unrelated retired nuns or priests can't live together in Baton Rouge. An unmarried heterosexual couple with two foster children, they're not legal. A homosexual couple with a roommate, not legal because of course under Louisiana law there is no same-sex marriage. Three young professional engineers who are unmarried, maybe 20-ish, 28, 30, want to live an urban lifestyle, can't live in a neighborhood in Baton Rouge and have a dog and a deck. They've got to live essentially in a large complex. I know of a case where three people who are on the business report's 40 under 40 list were actually, quote, illegal. They were 30-something years old, drove a BMW, a Lexus, and a Mercedes, and yet they technically would violate the law the way it's written. In any of these situations, the parish attorney then sues not the people who are violating the law, the tenants, who are expected to know the law. They sue the landlord and actually ask that the landlord become an agent of the state to enforce what is, in my view, a clearly unconstitutional law. It also puts the landlord in a position of having to violate federal law by inquiring into the familial status of potential renters. Further, no one can really answer why three or four unrelated people living together is more dense and a larger burden, say, on city services than two parents with four teenagers and 6 cars, a boat, and an RV in a driveway. You know, the law is often linked to students only, and is typically not enforced through many areas of the parish, except in some subdivisions around LSU, where the pitchfork and spear crowd is a little more sensitive perhaps. But the selective enforcement by the parish attorney's office is actually appalling. The law is probably unconstitutional, especially as to the discrimination against tenants and owners of rental property because of the disparate treatment of these classes of people. For example, if someone inherits a 5% ownership in a property, they can live in that property and have 3 unrelated roommates or 4 unrelated people. Now, why is that less dense than 3 unrelated people in the same property? The impact of the ownership aspect of this law on the government's purpose of having low density is really irrational. So this is a complicated issue. The law has never been challenged. We're going to talk about specific legal aspects in our message tomorrow. Until then, I'd like for you to look at the definition of family in the link below, the chart, and the commentary concerning this issue. We talk about living together in Baton Rouge and one Baton Rouge. It's not going to happen until we become tolerant of all types of people who call Baton Rouge home. We can make Baton Rouge a nice place for everyone. We can make it happen if we make it Myers.